Hey, Michael with XForcePC here to talk to you about our ultimate package, I guess is what we're calling it. And probably the easiest thing to tell you when it comes to what does it come with is to tell you what it doesn't come with. The only thing it doesn't come with, pause the sim for a moment, are these two iPads as well as the software running on them. So, it's up to you. You could have no iPads. You don't have to have iPads at all. Or you could just have one. But, if you want to maximize your space here, two iPads are kind of nice. So what we're running here is the PFD and the MFD. And that's another thing that does not come with it. You have to buy the PFD and the MFD app, which I'm going to estimate are in the $30 range total. And you just buy those on the iPad App Store. And again, of course, the iPads themselves are not provided. It's up to you to provide those and whether or not you want one or two. Now, we're flying along here in what we're simulating is a Cessna 172 that has Garmin G1000, and you can see everything's updating. Our map is updating, and I don't know how to operate a G1000, but all of these buttons do work. They're not just there for show. You can click on all these things and do various things. And again, I'm not proficient with G1000, so I do not know how to do all these different buttons. And the same goes over here for the MFD. And so that's one way you could use the iPads. Another way you could use them, again, we're flying along in a Cessna 172. Let's say we have a more conventional Cessna 172. Well, we could run a program called Air Manager, and I've created my own. It took me about 8 or 9 minutes, something like that, to create my own Cessna 172 panel. And so I just kind of took the panel and divided it across two iPads. Technically, you could get away with one iPad if maybe you threw out some of the things like the elevator trim, maybe the flaps, and the fuel switch between the left and the right tank. You could probably throw out the switch panel because we have one here, and you could condense it down to one iPad if you wanted to. But if you have two iPads, you might as well maximize the space and use that space and display pretty much everything that's in a 172. All this is touch enabled, so we just put our finger on the knob and twirl it if we want to turn the knob. Some of this stuff you're going to manipulate using your radio and multi-panel, but some of these things you will need to touch the screen and kind of twirl your finger to operate. So that's kind of the iPads and how you could use them. Now there's many other panels with Air Manager, and that's the name of this software. It's called Air Manager. For instance, a Cirrus SR22, that's what you would have in a Cirrus SR22. They also have a full panel for a Baron. So there's a full Baron panel for you. I'm still running this iPad over here, but I really wouldn't need it in this case. So that's another thing that doesn't come with the system, and that's the software. It's an app, again, on the App Store, and it's called Air Manager, and it costs around $25 to $30. It's not terribly expensive at all. By the way, we're flying over New York right now. And so, so the things you'd have to provide, again, two iPads, the Air Manager software, and the G1000 software, assuming you wanted to simulate a G1000. Now, let's talk about all the other stuff that comes with this. You have a switch panel. Of course, it has a dedicated landing gear up and down. We have our starter and our left and right magnetos. And we have a bunch of miscellaneous switches for various lights and functionality over here. I'm going to pause this. Coming over here to the right side, which may not be as easy to see, but we have a multi-panel, and what that allows you to do is control the autopilot. And it also has a dedicated flap up and down switch. And refer to the pictures. I know it's getting over to the edge of the screen here, probably a little hard to see, but it has a flap up and down switch, and then it also has a pitch trim. And then we have two radio panels over here on the right side. So each radio panel can control two radios, so we can control a total of 4 radios. I have this one set to COM 1, this one set to NAV 1, this one's set to, right now, DME, and the bottom one is set to the transponder. And you can change that if you want, you know, a NAV 1, a COM 1 and a COM 2, where you just turn the switch to COM 2, and now you've got COM 1 and COM 2. So again, take a look at some of the pictures. Make sure you click on the picture and bring it up large so you can see the whole thing. It is clickable to bring that up. We also have all this mounted neatly in this ValerSim avionics panel, and it is purposely made for the Valer cockpit, which I am sitting in. The Valer cockpit consists of the mounts for the monitors, the chair that I'm sitting in, and a place to put your pedals, as well as this tray for everything to mount to. Moving on down, we also have a Cessna yoke system. It's made by Cytec, and it's made to kind of emulate what you'd find in a Cessna 172, or really probably all the Cessna planes. We also have some CH Products Pro pedals. Those may eventually change to Cytec pedals, but right now Cytec pedals are not available. And last but not least, we have a really great gaming computer that's driving all of this. And of course, 3 27-inch, very large 27-inch monitors to give you a nice surround effect, and of course, nice frame rate from our from our simulator. So we're getting 40 frames per second right now, something like that. So that's kind of the overview. If you have any questions, you can send me an email, michael@xforcepc.com. Again, that is michael@xforcepc.com.